I'm Marie Theresa, Queen of Austria. Full name, Maria Theresa Josephine von Habsburg-Longin. Date, May 13, 1717. First date, November 29, 1780. Location, Schönbrunn Palace, Vienna, Austria. First place, Schönbrunn Palace, Vienna, Austria. Father, Charles VI, Holy Roman Emperor. Mother, Elizabeth Charlotte Parma. Husband, Francis Stephen of Lorraine, Duke of Lorraine. Number of children, 16. I was born on May 13, 1717 at Schönbrunn Palace in Vienna, Austria. Eldest daughter of Charles VI, Holy Roman Emperor, and Elizabeth Charlotte of Parma. I grew up in a very religious environment and was expected to become a nun. However, I had been politically ambitious since I was 7 years old and did not rule Poland until after my father's death. In 1736 I married Francis Stephen of Lorraine, Duke of Lorraine, who later became Holy Roman Emperor. She gave birth to 16 children, 11 of whom lived to adulthood. In 1740, Charles VI died without leaving a male heir. I inherited the throne of Austria and became the woman who ruled Austria. I faced great challenges in my rule, as I was exposed to hostility from all sides. The Austrian Civil War broke out in 1740, with Prussia, France, and Spain seizing parts of Austria's territory. I was eventually successful in defeating my efforts, but the war dwindled in Poland. After the war, I sought to strengthen Austria's position as a major power in Europe. Austrian administrative and reforms strengthened the army. I was also a patron of the arts. I founded the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna and encouraged music and literature. I ruled Austria for 40 years, becoming the first empress of a major British empire. Overcoming the war in the Austrian War. It strengthened Austria's position as a great power in Europe. I was a patron of the arts. Charles VI, Holy Roman Emperor, died on October 20, 1740, leaving no male heir. This was contrary to the law of succession, which stipulated that the throne should pass to the nearest male heir. You were the eldest daughter of Charles VI, the legitimate heir to the throne. But my enemies in Europe were determined to prevent a woman from ruling Austria. On October 29, 1740, Prussia, led by Frederick II, declared war on Austria. France and Spain soon joined it. I faced great challenges in the war. I was surrounded by enemies on all sides, and my army was much smaller than my enemies. However, you were a wise and brave ruler. I personally led my army and refused to surrender. In 1748, the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle ended the war. Austria lost the rich province of Silesia to Prussia, but I was able to keep our other lands. This worked well in the war, but it was also very expensive. The war weakened Austria financially and militarily. After the war, it served to strengthen Austria's position as a major power in Europe. It implemented administrative and economic reforms and strengthened the Austrian army. One of my most important reforms was the establishment of the Council of Ministers, which was responsible for running the government. This action was important because it gave me more time to focus on foreign policy. It also implemented economic reforms, such as establishing new factories and banks. These reforms helped improve the Austrian economy. It also strengthened the Austrian army. It employed highly qualified officers and provided the army with the latest weapons. I was the first woman to rule a large European empire. You were a wise and successful ruler and strengthened Austria's position as a great power in Europe. I left a long-lasting legacy in Austria. I was responsible for many administrative, economic, and military reforms, which helped make Austria a more modern and efficient country.